Welcome to the Blooming League of Original Podcasts.
G'day and welcome to another edition of Thrash and Treasure, the Torture Chamber musical comedy podcast where two mortals engage in battle to try and decapitate each other's musical taste. I'm Gareth, and joining me always, the man ready to feel the quickening. He is the Kurgan to my Juan Sanchez Villalobos Ramirez, my co-host Harren. How you going, mate?
Hey, it's my favorite April Fool. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I do feel that my Highlander-inspired
Highlander, that's what
introduction
that was. I had no idea.
Was completely lost on you. There we go.
I am the April Fool, I guess. It's my birthday this month, and today's actually my late uncle's birthday as well, so happy birthday, Uncle Peter. Well, I miss him every day. And funnily enough, well, unsurprisingly enough, it's also my parents' wedding anniversary. So that really should surprise nobody.
They share that. They share that with my brother-in-law's birthday, Mr. Bernie Miller. G'day, Bernie. I know you're listening. He loves a bit of musical theatre. That may be a lie. But yeah, anyway, Bernie was born on this day.
He's not listening.
Many years old
happy
now, which is good, but so many things to celebrate.
It is, lots.
This 1st of April.
And my favourite thing, fooldom. Is that a thing?
Do you do April Fools?
No, I don't. I'm an arsehole 364 days of the year.
Yeah, makes you fucking it just makes you normal. It's just such a it's got, like, the advent of the internet has pretty much broken April Fool's Day because when you're in Australia, you get it twice because you get the American one later, and the radio stations and the fucking stupid Channel 7s and 9s and whatever try and do some dumb shit, and it's always dumb. So yeah, they ruined it. It used to be fun sticking shit down at school until lunchtime, that sort of crap, but it's all ruined now.
I don't really remember nothing that really stuck out. I think one year I did play a Harry Potter prank on the fandom, and they fell for it, I think. Or maybe that was after seeing the movie, because we got the last movie. Well, the 7th movie, we got that before the rest of the world. That's right, yeah.
Yes,
and so I told everyone that Hedwig lived.
Oh, ouch.
Well, I'm like, I don't want to give you all spoilers, but I'm so glad they let Hedwig live. And people were pissed off at me for that. So, yeah, I think I got banned from the site after that one.
Yep. We don't. There's still some. So anyway,
this week I gave you a musical to listen to. Something very unheard of.
Yes. Well, I'd never heard of it, to be perfectly honest. And that should come of no surprise to anyone.
But I'm going to wager you $50 that you did know it. Did know the movie Source, I mean.
As soon as I saw the cover, I thought, that's funny, because when you gave it to me and I was listening to the episode back, which I rarely do, but sometimes I do, I think I referenced the source material.
You did.
And I said Spamalot. Sounds a bit Monty Python.
You did.
And it was.
And I don't remember how I reacted to it, but
I don't think you reacted at all. You just went, you blanked it because you didn't want to give anything away. I did not know this existed, which shouldn't come as no surprise. This was huge on Broadway and the West End. It made, I even did some research.
Wow.
It made like $175 million.
That's Marvel money.
That is Marvel money, and it's probably better than any Marvel movie I've ever seen.
That's actually, in terms of profits, that's low Marvel money. That's Marvel money in terms of budget in the first place.
All right. It's still better than Marvel.
No, it's not. They're all good.
Yeah, it is.
Anyways, but at least you said it was better. So, all right, come on, go on, shut up. Me.
Okay, the first thing inadvertently cracked me up because it's literally called tuning, and it's the orchestra tuning up. And I made back when we did Andy Dowling's episode with Pippin, I made a bit of a crack that why did they leave in the orchestra tuning, and these guys literally left in the orchestra tuning. So that made me laugh, and it was an inadvertent laugh, but it was.
That comment actually dictated this upcoming choice, or this choice, because obviously that episode was recorded a month ago now. Actually, it was too.
Yeah.
And then at the time, I had something else picked, which in the meantime, I may have organized a guest or two for.
Right.
So I needed a replacement.
Oh, okay.
Anyways.
Sneaky replacement.
Anyways, you know what I mean? Like it dictated, it was like, and I heard that, and I'm like, yeah, okay, sure, I'll go with that one, because it's from around about the same time. And yes.
Yep.
Anyways, shut up me. On to you.
Shut up you. It's my turn. So I saw what it was, and I thought, oh yeah, okay. I'll listen to this. Well, I have to anyway, because if I don't, we don't have a show. But I thought I'll put it on with an open mind because it might be based on Monty Python, but how Monty Python can it be? It's very fucking Monty Python. It really is. And it's based loosely based on the Holy Grail, which is hilarious.
So you knew that? $50, pay up? Actually, no, just buy me $50 worth of KFC. That'll suffice.
Okay.
That'll get me through the next month.
I will do that. Life of Brian's my favorite Monty Python movie.
Of course it is, because it's got pain.
Yep. It was absolutely hilarious. By the time we got to the third track, and there's an introduction, and then
Christian Ball.
It's Christian Ball, and it's hilarious because they're talking about, and he does a weather forecast, but for plague and pestilence. And to the north there's some Celts and a few Scotsmen, and it cracked me up. Seriously, I don't know how many times I listened to it, but every time that cracked me up. And they're talking about England, and then the next song is all about Finland. And I literally, because I have no idea, and I don't pay much attention, I'm sitting there, Finland, and it's a great song. It's very catchy as shit. And then it gets to the end of it, and he goes, no, England. So they spent this whole time singing about Finland when it was England, and I laughed out loud in my car a lot.
Yeah, it is giggle worthy. I think.
And each time I listened to it, I laughed again. And it's Monty Python. It's absurd, but it's got Hank Azaria's in it, which is Tim Curry. And look, Tim Curry's an absolute genius. Everything. There's a dog.
David Hyde Pierce.
I was getting to him because I think he does my favorite song of the whole musical, which is "You Won't Succeed on Broadway, unless you've got some Jews." And I'm listening to it going, there is so many things wrong with this right now, and this is what makes Monty Python quite genius. It's hilarious. You could see the cancel culture just riding roughshod over that. They can't do it anymore because it's been out there for too long.
Oh no, they still can.
You can't. Well, I'm sure they could try.
They'll try.
You can't do it. It's just
taking down Pepe Le Pew.
It's really.
But that's another story. Anyways, yes, cancel culture will go after this at some point, maybe, or at least something.
Yeah, I don't know. It's done. So I think Monty Python get away with it because it's such absurdist comedy.
It's very silly. Very, very silly.
No one does absurdist like Monty Python. I think they're absolute masters of it. And the fact that they've turned, and I don't know whose idea this was or where it came
Eric
about.
Idle.
It kind of, good on you. Eric Idle, he's an absolute fucking genius. I could see this working in his head, and he's going, do you know what? Let's make a musical out of it.
Yep.
and then get all these people. And because they're Monty Python, they're going to get people like David Hyde Pierce, and they're going to get Tim Curry.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're going to get Sarah Ramirez, who, holy shit, she can sing.
Can't she just?
That is the most amazing voice. Here's the other thing about it. So it's based on the Holy Grail, and we've got King Arthur and we've got Lancelot, and we're doing that whole kind of story. But then intertwined in this, and I actually think if I hadn't done this podcast, I would have missed a lot of the jokes that are in here, because there's so many self-deprecating jokes about musical theatre.
There is, isn't there? And that's one thing when I was listening back over it. And I said this to you in the Andy episode, that from doing this show, you're going to see things in other things that reference musical theatre that you never saw before, that you never knew were there, but you're going to understand them now. Because obviously, like artists, writers and all that, they're going to have tastes beyond what they're working on, obviously. And musical theatre is going to be one of those things. So it's like what the King Kong, what was it? Skull Island, right? When you watch that and you know, what's that? It's not Full Metal. Full Metal Alchemist, I think it is. Right? I think if you, or maybe it's a game or something like that. The director put into that film so many references. It might have been Full Metal Alchemist, but strewn throughout the film, or it might have just been anime in general, or it might have been action games. I don't know, something in that film that I don't personally get the references to, but I know that they exist, that the director put them in there deliberately. So that's what I'm saying when I say to you, you're going to pick up on references now more often. And I will too when it comes to metal. So, no, that's good. Also about Sarah Ramirez, not only has she got a fantastic voice, but she's also got great comedic timing. She'd bloody have to be mixed up with this lot. You know, and that... To go from that strain to that, and I think I want to see more of her. Personally, I don't know her all that well. Apart from this, I might do, but I'm just not remembering it right now. So, now I probably just look like an asshole. Anyways, nothing new there.
But there is. I mean, you won't see certain Broadways. That's a little bit ridiculous. The Divas Lament, Whatever Happened to My Part, is, I mean, that's 2.5 minutes of pure gold. There's the song that this is the, and
once
I can't
in
remember
every
what it's
show
called, but
there
it's
comes a song like
once
this.
in every show,
and
it comes a song like this, and I'm listening to it going, fucking yes, there is, and then it comes back
twice
again,
in every show,
twice in every show, and the bit that made me laugh the most, and I literally laughed out loud, was they're singing and he just goes, "Stop singing!" And I'm like, oh my God. So many times I've wanted to say that. And I have said that. Just stop singing. I wasn't expecting this at all. This is probably, Book of Mormon is the funniest thing I've ever seen in musical theatre. Hands down.
That's
might
being
possibly
changed, by the way.
It might be the funniest thing I've ever seen ever. This is a very, very close second.
But you haven't seen
very
this.
Close
That's
second.
the thing.
And I haven't seen it.
Visually, it may double down. I don't know. I haven't seen it live myself either. There was one professional production in Melbourne that kind of bombed, so it didn't tour. Sorry about that, guys. There's a saying. There's a saying: if a show can survive in Melbourne, it can survive anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And Spamalot didn't survive in Melbourne.
It didn't. But didn't this run on Broadway in the West End for
a long time? Yeah, enough time.
A long time,
at least.
Yeah.
A long while. At least I think it was 8 years on Broadway. Yeah. Or it might have been 5. I don't know.
Is
a good amount.
That seems like a long time.
It is, because when you hear some of the musicals that come out, they'll be massively popular and they'll win the Tony for Best Musical, but they're gone within 2 years.
Yeah,
or they're
a bit like a
critically acclaimed. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
they're a bit like a It's a bit like being on the top of the pop charts. It's great for 5 minutes and then people move
I mean,
on.
and obviously this is a tourist musical, full stop. It's Monty Python and that cast, and even with the replacements, a lot of the times I believe they got people that had a name, which they do often on Broadway anyway. But because you've got sort of an ensemble of leads that, obviously you've got 3 or 4, 5 big names in there, where you've got the potential to have that. But, I would like to see it, but I know it's all going to look the same. This is one problem not a problem, but see, I love theatre because the director gets to take it and do their vision with it. The same story. We all complain about remakes of movies, and yet I thrive off it in theatre. That's how I can see 10 different productions of Rent. Even though there's usually just one set. There's no set changes in Rent or Hair, right? But something like this, I think that everyone would go for the Monty Python, Terry Gilliam designs from the movies for all the sets and stuff like that, which I think I would. You would have to. But I would get a bit bored of that. That's why I would like to see some differences here, and they maybe do it live at a castle ruins.
Yeah,
something like that.
That'll work.
Out in the open or in the round or something like that. Do it at fake Stonehenge.
Yes, in this.
My favorite line. Sorry to keep talking on you. But my favorite line is in All for One, One for All, and he distributes the wealth and says, and a little less for people we don't like. That line cracks me up because it's the mundane.
It is. I heard that while I was driving on the freeway today, trying to get home in time, and I was stuck in what passes for traffic in Perth, and it was hilarious. It just that cracked me up, and every time I hear it, I know the line's coming, and then I hear it, and then I laugh. So here's a weird little connection. Always look on the bright side of life.
From Life of Brian.
From Life of Brian, which when I'm listening to this and I'm going, oh, okay, this is a holy grail. And then that song came on. I said, oh, that's hilarious. This must be the end of the show.
And it's not.
But it wasn't. Because if you go to an Iron Maiden concert, and I have been to a few, they always start with a song called Doctor Doctor from the band called UFO. But they always finish with Always Look on the Bright Side of Life.
Okay.
They don't play it, but while you're screaming for yet another encore that's never going to happen, and as soon as you hear those notes for this song, the house lights are coming up and it's time to go home, and there's no more argument. So that kind of, and they shoved it in the middle, and I went, oh, but this is the end song. Yeah. But then again, they reprise it right at the end, and they do a whole ensemble for that. So I'm just sitting there going, this is pretty metal, because Iron Maiden have done that for, I don't know how long. It's probably decades that they've always finished with that's their song. Everyone fuck off.
I've always been two minds about it being in the show, because I love Life of Brian as well, but they've turned that into a music, but I don't think it's actually been staged. It's been done as a concert with the boys from Monty Python, or the old men now,
the old
no
men
longer
now,
boys, and that's called He's Not the Messiah, He's a Very Naughty Boy.
Oh, see, I used that line up with
Andy.
Andy
How
Dowling.
funny
I know.
is that episode so connected to this one somehow?
I know. We should have got Andy on.
Yeah, no. But this actually, had planned to save this one for having a metal guest. But seeing how Andy embraced Pippin, I thought, no, I'm going to fuck them all up.
Just throw this one out there.
Yeah.
But you made my day, because it was like, and I'd written a few notes down, which I haven't read any of them off. But if I said, what did you give? If you said, what did I give you? I was going to say, you literally gave me Christmas. This was Christmas in March.
Oh, now I got a tear in my eye.
Oh, don't do that. It just lifted everything. It made me so happy. And I was having a shit day today. And when I'm coming back and I'm thinking, we've got to record this podcast, I'm going to throw it on one more time just to refresh my mind.
And you looked on the bright side of life.
And this is the only musical that I've listened to for this podcast where I didn't go back to the metal album for a palate cleanser. I just went, this one is just going to make me laugh.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you right now, 100%, I would listen to this again.
Oh, good.
I would throw it on and listen to it again and just have a laugh. And I know it's a tourist musical and it's just all a bit silly, but it's funny as shit.
It's a gateway drug.
And there's some, and like I said, there is some ridiculously good performances in here. And David Hyde Pierce is probably one of them, and Sarah Ramirez. And Sarah Ramirez is why I did, and you missed it completely, but it's why I did the Highlander intro for you, because the Sean Connery character in Highlander was Juan Sanchez Villalobos Ramirez. And I can't remember which song it is, but in one of those songs they do there's just a little bit of a Sean Connery accent. And I can't remember.
Is that where she scats?
No, it's early on, and they just say a couple of words, and it's a little bit like Sean, like that. That made me think of that. And then I saw her name Ramirez, and I went, Sean Connery played Juan Sanchez Ramirez. So I'm going to do, and we try and cut each other's heads off. So that's where it all came from.
All I know about Highlander is Christopher Lambert.
Well, I didn't want to be Christopher Lambert.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Christophe Lambert.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I'd say I haven't seen it.
It's one of my favorite films.
Look,
because it's so dumb.
When we were a kid, it was either Highlander or Hellraiser. We were not watching Highlander.
Okay.
We were watching Hellraiser.
I've got Hellraiser
as much as possible.
I've got Hellraiser's socks. I get Hellraiser's socks.
Oh, well, you are a bit of a pinhead.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
And those legs are yours.
What are you talking?
Pins.
Yeah. All right. We should move on. So I'm giving it 4 out of 5.
Oh, it sounds like you want to give it a 5. I gave you Christmas, apparently.
I'm getting no. You know what? 4's a cop out.
It is a cop out. You want to give it a 5?
4's a cop out. I guess 5 out of 5. It's just it's funny. It made me laugh. It's self-deprecating.
It's relatable.
It's relatable, and it's and it's Monty Python, and just it just made me laugh, and it lifted my day. It made me I loved
Maybe
it.
I should have put it on when I was in a shit mood the other day. What did I put on? I put on Eminem and then The Clash.
2 very uplifting.
Yes.
All right. We should move on. Do you know what we should do? No, we should go to air break.
All right.
I want to go to air break. I like air breaks.
Coming this summer, winter, spring, or fall, the first ever musical theater sitcom, where you go behind the scenes of the latest West End show, the Fosse Forest Ballet.
Where's the important stuff? Aha! £1,000 a week ensemble rate. That's what Mamma Mia likes.
Starring Philip Joel and a West End cast featuring Kerry Ellis, Darren Day, Louise Demon, and Oliver Saville, and more.
It all started in 1987 when I was a jobbing actress working in a diner.
Yeah, it's just I had a really bad experience when I was touring Australia with a wombat.
Darling! Mwah, mwah. La, la. How long have I been mentoring you? 3 months?
2 years.
So her name is Henrietta.
The horse. Yes. I've managed to secure you an audition for the biggest, most innovative, and the latest show to be going into the West End. Joseph and his Technicolor Dreamcoat. Think more along the lines of Panto.
Frozen.
You can watch this episode for the price of a coffee. Simply go to www.thefosseforestballet.com. Any and all profits go back to theatre charities, acting for others, and the Theatre's Trust. You'll laugh, you'll cry, and you'll see a grown man in sparkly tights.
Tight nights. Nice. Tights.
We are back, and we're back. Goodbye, Monty Python. Thanks for the memories. I think we're moving on to something which and this is a big call, but could be even better.
Yeah, well, we're back to be affronted by metal.
Mm.
I guess it's my cue, is it?
It is your cue.
It is my cue for the album which you bestowed upon me. Would you like to hear my review?
I would love to hear your review of Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 2.
Yes, that's what you gave me. It was such a long title, I forgot it. I just go to say Hagrid, Keeper of Greens and Keys of... Keeper of Grounds and Keys of Hogwarts. At Hogwarts. Oh, fucking no, man. It's been that long since I read them or seen them.
That was... And he probably was, wasn't he? Oh, he was a greenkeeper.
Groundskeeper, yeah. But he says it as Greens.
He was a groundskeeper.
Keeper of the Greens.
Right. Oh, the Greens.
So every time I hear someone say Greens, as in Grains, I think of Hagrid.
Yes. You think of Hagrid. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So, we're going to hear my review now. When I first saw the cover, I was so happy to see E.T. phone home. I wonder if COVID has made its way to Botanicus yet. Anyways, speaking of Botanicus, that name of E.T.'s home planet was revealed in E.T. the Ride, which, while waiting in the queue, one would expect to hear a song like Track 1, The Invitation, playing on loop while the pre-show video plays. Anyways, once this overlong album kicked in, I wondered where I had been when Caiaphas released a Renaissance metal album. And where is the loot? Question, is this album what Bill and Ted wrote to save the world? Because if so, they should have let us all die.
Oh.
I'm being mean, which I realize is something new for this show. But ultimately, this second track gave me the urge to break out the pantaloons and prance merrily around maypoles. And we all know how unpracticed I am at the pole. The opening drums of the next song were solid, and yet I was greeted by Robin Hood's favourite band. The horses made for a nice touch at the end of Rise and Fall, as did other random sounds that weren't Knights of the Metal Table. The lead singer Michael Chiklis's unique falsetto seems to have only one mode, pompous, and I have to wonder why the album is called Keeper of the Seven Keys, because I only heard one. Speaking of keys, the fake organ in Dr. Stein added a gothic twist to this Frankenstein-y track, but if I was that organ, I'd run and hide because Dr. Victor likes to harvest organs. Fun fact, that's how the keytar was invented. We Got the Right was a cascading balladesque song that totally didn't grate on my medieval tits. If not for that same voice, which admittedly did punctuate some valleys in a product prime with piercing peaks and plateaus. But overall, this album was long. At 2 CDs, 86 minutes long, I was worn out after each listen, finding myself sprawled out on a chaise lounge, awaiting grapes to be fed to me by my man-bitch Gareth. Each of my 10 listens was a struggle. Is this what I put you through, Gareth? I mean, I do give you some long CDs, but is this how you feel at the end of them?
Yes.
Oh. Well, I'm so ashamed at myself for not doing it more. 2 stars.
Wow, that's a star more than I thought.
No. It was pompous.
Okay.
I was prancing around to this album.
I thought you would get the humor in this album. Like Rise and Fall is a very fun. Dr. Steen is fucking hilarious. It's a hilarious. These guys.
Just because I made a joke about it doesn't mean I liked it or hated it. Shit.
Well, you gave it 2 stars. You clearly didn't like it.
Well, I clearly didn't hate it either. I found it pompous.
Okay. Pompous.
I found it very medieval.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's power metal. There's nothing more. That's the whole point of power metal, which kind of works with that works with the Spamalot, which was all very medieval.
Well, it did. That's why I had my medieval jokes in there, which none of them you got.
No.
And Caiaphas was the name that I changed at the last minute. It was Pontius Pilate, but
Okay.
I
That would've
think
made more
it's
sense.
Caiaphas or Annas who sings in the falsetto in Jesus Christ Superstar. I should have just looked it up, but I didn't think it was
well, that's
Pontius Pilate. But one of them's
how
got
my
the falsetto. So.
okay. I wonder why you said that because that's not his name at all.
Caiaphas.
I just thought you mispronounced.
No,
his
I
name.
was talking about the biblical figure. I've listened to about 10.
I thought you mispronounced Kiski wrong.
Michael Chiklis.
Yeah.
Look him up.
Yeah.
Look up Michael
I thought.
Kiski, whatever his name is.
Hmm.
Look him up and how he looks now with his hunky broad shoulders and his hunky thick neck and his hunky bald head.
And his bald head.
Michael
yes.
Chiklis, hey.
He's a long way from what he looked like, which was thin and with long blonde hair.
Yeah,
and,
well,
back when he made the album.
So you didn't get that joke either. You didn't get any of my jokes. Not even how unpracticed I am at the pole.
Yeah.
None of my jokes. No, see what happens when we don't record when we should record? The momentum gets lost.
It's not. I never get any of your jokes.
That's not
Let's
true.
be honest. Even when I do get them, I usually groan.
Usually groan. You didn't get my That's How the Keytar was invented by Dr. Frankenstein? Because he harvested an organ. Get it?
No, I got it.
You know?
I just...
Oh my God. Do you think about it? It's a funny joke. Oh
I didn't want to interrupt you.
All this effort I put into trying to make you laugh, and you're just so.
Well, I know, but here's the thing: you make me laugh without. You make me laugh without writing.
From what
jokes.
I can tell, my pathetic life makes you laugh, not my jokes, but all the ridiculous shit that I do and am.
This is well, no, but
we haven't recorded.
Yes, no, but yeah. I honestly see this is another album where I honestly thought you would get the humor and you would get the. You called it pompous, and I think I'm going to come back to Can that I completely missed the whole point of that show, that musical. I think this is you missed this one, which is what I thought. You're going to get this. You're going to get the humor. You're going to get the ridiculousness of it, but you just
maybe I just
didn't
wasn't in the right headspace for it. I kept thinking of an old Saturday Night Live character. Was not that old, probably about 5 years old, of a medieval character, and Jason Sudeikis would laugh at him. This boy this kid, I think his name was Timmy or something like that, would be like, "Oh, hee. Hello, how are you doing?" and stuff like that, and they would just make fun of it, laughing. It was stupid. It's not even a funny sketch. It was on about 3 or 4 times, but that's what I kept thinking of. Was that character?
Oh, okay.
And I don't know why. I maybe it's just with everything going on, I wasn't in the right headspace for seeing the comedy in this, juxtaposed against Spamalot, where the comedy, is not at all subtle. Even the mundane lines are not subtle at all, because that it's so silly and stupid. Whereas this, I guess, I missed it, but I clearly didn't miss the point of their sound.
Yeah,
it was one long madrigal.
It's very long. There's one song in there that's almost 14 minutes.
Yeah, you criticized me for some of the choices,
but I love it.
That was the final one, yeah. On the first first album.
Oh, it was the last one of the original side 2 without the bonus tracks, which was Keeper of the Seven Keys, which is the title track, which was but yeah, this one, look, honestly, this is one of my favorite albums of all time. They're one of my favorite bands. This is one of my favorite albums.
Well,
I've seen them live. I've met the guys. They're amazing. I think they're amazing because they did this, but it's not to be taken seriously.
Well, okay, I guess that's where I went wrong.
Yeah.
because I'm so used to metal musicians taking themselves so seriously.
Yes.
Shout
Yeah.
out to Andy
It's-
Dowling. How you doing, buddy? And our next metal guest.
These guys are they're tongue in cheek. They're absolute tongue in cheek. You look at their stage show. Everything about it. Their mascot is a pumpkin. It's fantastic. So yeah, I think you missed this one. It was a swing and a miss, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And it is power metal. It's power metal, and even among metal fans, they do rage against power metal a bit because they're just douchebags. And I think it's because
It's so pompous.
there's big. Well, see, you say pompous. It's big, anthemic. There's sing-alongs, and that's what it's all about. Get into the chorus, shout it back, have a good
Well,
time.
that's stadium
So,
anthem type things. I didn't
Yeah.
really hear any stadium anthems in this. And I would have pointed
This-
that out because I always point out the stadium anthem when I hear it in an album.
yeah.
I didn't
No,
get any
no.
in this
There's
time.
there's a difference between stadium anthem and just shouting back your favorite.
I'm
song.
not saying that
So-
he, Michael Chiklis, or what, Michael Crispy, is pompous. I'm not saying he is pompous. I'm saying the tone that I'm hearing was
Okay.
pompous. Okay?
Okay.
Nothing to do with
Yep.
him.
Yep.
He can obviously sing. They have got talent, or I would have given them less.
Yes. Oh my God. Listen to. Wow. Yep.
Well, what are you fucking expecting? Shit.
This album, when it came out, got like 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 4 out of 5s. So
I can
that's-
see
yeah.
why with how crazy it is.
Mm.
But I guess maybe if it was juxtaposed against a serious musical, the comedy may have come to the surface a little bit more.
see.
Maybe. But because
Yes.
I know, going back and forth between the two, like I always do, because I like to listen to my musicals, and I don't watch TV, so I listen to music. Yeah. I just where was the loot?
I will give this album one thing, right? Even though I love it and it's one of my favorite albums, it's a little long. There's a couple of kind of soft spots in it. There's not every, there's 9 tracks. Not everyone hits. Okay, Invitation doesn't count. Eagle Fly Free, I think it does. Rise and Fall does. You Always Walk Alone.
Invitation
Yeah,
didn't
nah.
belong.
Well, it's an invitation to listen to the music. I thought you'd like that because it's at the
whole
start.
point of
'Cause
an
that would-
invitation is that you belong somewhere. And yet that
You belong
didn't
here.
belong in the album. That felt like I was standing in line to go on E.T. the ride. Which Botanicus, factually correct, by the way. I didn't make that up.
Oh, okay.
How did you know that, Aaron? Because I'm a fucking nerd. That's how I knew that.
Yes, because you're a nerd. Nerds embrace. Honestly, you missed the humor.
No.
You thought it was pompous. You didn't like the music. To be perfectly honest, is exactly what I was after. We should move
We
on.
should. Well, that's the end of the episode, though.
That is the end of the episode.
Yeah.
And
I don't have any notes. I did do some research, but have
How's it going?
nothing.
Yeah.
If I did write them
It's-
down, I've obviously forgotten, which is really weird.
It's there's part 1. We've got to get to part 1 yet, so
Oh.
we'll move back on part 1 a little bit
Why
later
are we going backwards? You fucking George Lucas.
because it's April Fool's Day.
Oh, okay. Oh, it is too.
There you go.
Yeah, I've got a
Anyway.
date tomorrow.
Hey.
No,
Really?
it's April Fool's, dude. Shit.
Oh,
Why
oh,
would you
shit.
fall? Why would you believe that? Oh my
I
god.
fell
you
for that
did
because
fall
I
for that.
because I just want it to happen so
No
much.
one's lining up to
That's
date
why.
this fucking extraterrestrial, I tell you that. Goodness gracious me.
You can be on the next Halloween
No,
cover.
Jack Skellington. That's who it is. There you go. There's a Halloween thing.
Okay.
All my jokes are connected to our albums today.
Speaking of, we should swap albums. I'm going to go with an Australian band, Parkway Drive, and the album is called Reverence.
Parkway Drive. I made $50 down that one day.
Hmm.
Long time ago. What was the album called?
Reverence.
I'm sure I will.
Hmm.
No, I have reverence for all the bands, whether or not the music's palatable to me is another matter. But I do have reverence for what they do. Alrighty. So I'm going to give you a fun little musical. It's the Pajama Game, and we're proud to be in the Pajama Game. I love it. Alright, it's just like Can, it's from the 50s. So you're going to love this
Jesus
one.
Christ.
It's very cheery and happy and naive. Utterly naive. But also, no doubt, rather sexist and outdated. But that's what you get from materials from those times quite often.
Yeah. What's the musical?
The Pajama Game.
Oh, I didn't.
I
Jesus.
just sang a whole song. I serenaded
Well, I
you with
don't-
the title.
Pajama Game.
That's what you need. You sound like you're
Well,
asleep.
I didn't realize you can't just sing shit and expect me to know what it is. All right. 1954. Fuck me. All right.
Only if you buy me dinner first.
Awesome. All right.
Yep.
Before we go, I just want to tell the people, don't forget to rate and review, leave a comment. It's how people find us. If they give us 5 stars and they talk us about it, we get bumped up in the order of the podcast, and then people can find us. The other way you can find us is on @Thrash and Treasure, THRASHN on the Twitters. We've also got a Facebook page, so check out our Facebook, which is facebook.com/Thrash and Treasure.
And
I'm not Gareth. Yes.
an Instagram now.
We also have Instagram.
Yep.
So check out Thrash and Treasure on the Instas.
Yeah. Now
And you can keep up
I'm not running
to
those.
date with all the shit.
Just for the people at home, don't try to talk to me. No hotties. Do not slide into my Instagram DMs. It's not me running it. You slide into my Twitter
No,
DMs.
it's someone far more competent.
Yes.
Anyway.
That's not nice. I've had to teach her what to do.
While you're on the Twitters, come over and check out me. I'm @NotGareth. Also, check out the Tonneson Tales. Google that, Tonneson Tales. Go and buy the books. It'll be awesome. Make sure you check those out. Anyway, I've been Gareth. That's been Aaron. You at home, thanks for listening. Stay safe and see you next time.
Hooroo!